Is charged with trying to kill a deputy after a shooting last night in Brunswick County. The sheriff's office just releasing new details of how a deputy ended up shooting a man in Supply. Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us as we come on air with this breaking news. I'm Frances Weller. WECT's Ashley Balsavia is joining us now live from Supply with those new details. Ashley, this started as a call of someone shooting a gun.
Yeah, Fran, and it ended with the suspect being shot by the deputy. As of this evening, that suspect is still in the hospital. Here's what we know at this hour. The Brunswick County Sheriff's Office says the deputy went out to a home on Plantation Court for a complaint of someone firing a gun. They say the man shot at the deputy, who shot back and hit the suspect twice. The deputy was not hurt. The man who was shot survived and is in the hospital this evening. Law enforcement was back out on the scene early this morning gathering more information. And now the sheriff's office says it's doing an internal investigation to make sure policy was followed. And Sheriff Brian Chisholm has asked the State Bureau of Investigation and the district attorney's office to review the use of force, as is protocol. Fran?
Ashley, a neighbor says they actually heard those gunshots last night, right?
Yeah, Fran, this morning we talked to a neighbor who said they woke up to what sounded like someone casually shooting, and then later in the night they woke up a while later to say they heard multiple gunshots back to back.
All right, Ashley Balsavia is live in Supply. Thanks so much for that update. Tonight, two people will